Hey, everybody, I'm Dr. John Shirk, and it is Wednesday morning at 11 o'clock Central Time, and that means this is Brown Bag Lunch, where I come to you with anything I can bring you in this short little time span that can add value to your life, whether you are a technician who can use all the help you can get, or you are supporting a technician as a family member or a manager or whoever else. Um, so, listen, today, what I want to talk about, we're now into the hot part of it's not even officially summer yet, but it's hot. Um, I live in South Louisiana. It's been way in the 90s for a while now. And hot weather in the air conditioning business means long hours. So, what I want to talk with you today is how to negotiate with your partner at home about your summertime schedule if you're a technician. And if you work in air conditioning generally, there's a good chance your hours are long, even if you're not in the field, but especially if you are in the field. Now, um, the easy thing to do, not what I recommend, but the easy thing to do would be to say, hey, it's how it is. These are the hours. If you don't like it, you shouldn't have married me. Like, kind of just take that approach. Uh, I don't recommend that. All right. I recommend having a more open and adult conversation about the reality of being in the air conditioning business. Okay. So, what do I do? Here's the coaching points. So, first of all, start with having respect for your partner and their need to be able to talk about it. Right. Um, the it's easy when you're the technician because you're in the hot weather. Um, the reality of the job, especially if you're on the residential side, means often you don't know when you're going home at the end of the day. It may not be until 9 o'clock at night, and you're up again the next morning going right at it. Um, the dynamics of it are difficult, and because it's you in the field, it's you in the heat, it's you uh, putting out the energy. It can be easy to flip into the zone of saying, I need you all to support me and make this a one-way process. Okay. And depending on the dynamics in your relationship, maybe it works that way anyway. Some relationships thrive with that dynamic, not a majority, but some do. But what I would invite you to do initially is just be open to the idea that it's also hard for your partner because your partner, especially if you have younger children, especially if they also have a job, there's the difficulty of summertime in the air conditioning business. It just needs to be discussed, and the wrong way to do it is just to get up before she gets out of bed and don't come home till she's back in bed, and you just don't have time to talk about it. Um, it's very important that you talk about it. So now that you're talking about it, obviously it's hard. How do you get on the solution side of it? Number one thing you can do. Number one thing, if you haven't listened to my podcast with Dennis King, the episode with Dennis King, we talk about this there on HVAC Joy Lab. Have a shared goal with your partner. This is extremely important. It's extremely important. In other words, see your partner as putting in time just like you are, but to what end? All right. Are you on the same page as to why this is happening? Now, look, it doesn't have to be something grand. It could just be, look, we both value paying the rent, and this is making that happen. And it's a price to be paid to pay the rent, or maybe it's this difficult season, which happens every year. Um, this keeps your life stable, and you both desire stability in your life. You both want that, and so maybe that's um, your shared goal. Maybe the overtime and the income you get this time of year. Maybe there's a shared thing that you want to purchase. Maybe there's a financial goal that you want to meet, or I encourage all of you to consider finding a way to get out of uh, personal debt, and maybe that's your shared goal. That'd be a great place to start on this. Is get into like a Dave Ramsey situation and build out uh, your system, your method for eliminating personal debt. That will do a lot for you. But however you get there, attach this seasonal um, challenge and effort and time with a shared goal, and you have to sit down and talk about it. Well, look, we're going into this. Um, what do we want to get out of it? How do we do this together? And if you don't have these kind of conversations on a regular basis, your partner's dying for you to have this conversation with them. They're dying for it. I promise. So start with a shared goal. And then the other question to ask is, and ask it honestly and openly, um, is this sustainable? This life of the long hours in the summer, that's part of what this is. Now, are there ways to take the edge off? That should also be discussed. Are there limits? Because I think everybody knows that's in the business, especially if you're on the residential side. What happens is the better you are as a technician, the more in demand you are by the company you work for. And so as time goes on, the better you get. A lot of techs tell me privately that they feel almost punished for getting better because you're the go-to guy and you're the guy who handles the callbacks and all that. So the question is this sustainable? And if one of you, not both of you, if one of you clearly says no, stop and talk about it. Okay. Now, I don't recommend doing something rash in the middle of the heavy season. Maybe one of you says, you know what, this is not sustainable, and it's only June. Maybe ask the question again about the middle of August and see what that sounds like, and see what that feels like. But if one of you is saying this is not sustainable, then don't let yourself fall into this kind of, well, you know what, life's a bitch, and then you die, so you're just going to have to suck it up. Like, just suck it up is not a plan. That's not a lifestyle. That's not, sucking it up is not sustainable, right? Now, if you say, look, we know there's going to be 4 months a year that we are like wide open running and gunning. And then there's other seasons of the year where it's slower and we kind of recover and we can do family vacations and stuff like that other parts of the year. Okay. But if the answer to the question, is this sustainable, from either of you? Now, look, it may be you, technician, who is saying this is not sustainable, but your wife likes the stability of your income and your benefits, and it's just fine with her. It's either one of you. If either one of you says, no, this is not sustainable, there are options, right? But you have to think ahead and look for them. You may need to get through this summer, knowing that you can't do this forever, and then look at some other options. If you're in that cycle in a residential company, maybe you want to look at working for a commercial company that does contractual maintenance and works hours in the summer, but it's really more of a 12-month annual situation than it is a hot season, slow season. Okay. Maybe you want to take a look at engaging with a company where you have a business partner and you go 1099 and you can have more control over how much you're working. My point is that there's options. Okay. But at the core of this, you have to be able to talk to your partner about the demand that summer creates in the air conditioning business. You just have to. Otherwise, it's going to create a crack in your marriage. And sooner or later, you're going to be sitting in a house with no furniture and no family and wondering what happened. And that's not what anybody wants. Okay. So listen, my name's John. I'm your friend. If this is the kind of thing that you want to hear more of, please send me. You guys send me notes all the time, so send me a note and say, yeah, do more. Maybe I'll do a whole podcast on just this issue. But it's very important because it's easy when you're in the heat, literally and figuratively, to become a little just about me and feeling like, why can't you all just support me, and not be able to click pause and say, am I creating something that's not sustainable for my family? And I need to look at whether this is the specific version of working in this industry that I need to continue to do. Okay. Well, you just got to talk about it. Just be open. The more you communicate on this, the better. Okay. All right. I'm Dr. John Shirk, and I think about you guys every day. Every day. I'm doing all kinds of things that I can to add value to your lives as technicians. Be sure to check out HVAC Joy Lab. It comes out every Sunday. We got a great episode coming out this Sunday. Another one on health and nutrition. We're just going to keep giving you all we can. So stay in touch. And if you'd like to talk in person, don't hesitate to reach out. And if you're interested in being on the podcast, we're always looking for guests who want to come and share their point of view on what makes a great life for a technician. So that's it, my friends. This is HVAC, or this is Brown Bag Lunch. Join us on HVAC Joy Lab.